Welcome back to Technically You, the podcast that unpacks the tech that is shaping our world.
Today is the fourth and final segment on polyfunctional intelligent manufacturing robots. I hope you have been enjoying and learning from this series. Now let's get rolling. Robotics.
So I'll start this last segment with, what about the environmental impact?
This is actually encouraging. Intelligent manufacturing can dramatically reduce waste, optimize energy use, and enable more sustainable practices. Precision agriculture with robots reduces pesticide and water use. Efficient manufacturing reduces material waste.
So automation could help with climate change?
It could be a tool. More efficient production, better recycling and circular economy practices, optimized logistics reducing transportation emissions. Though we also need to consider the energy cost of running all this AI and computing.
Right. Training AI models uses significant energy.
It does, though efficiency is improving rapidly, and the energy used in training might be offset by efficiency gains in deployment. It's a net calculation that depends on how the technology is deployed.
We've touched on ethics throughout, but let's address it directly. What ethical frameworks should guide this technology?
Great question. Several principles are emerging as consensus. First, human autonomy. Technology should augment human decision-making, not replace human judgment in critical decisions.
What constitutes a critical decision?
Things involving human safety, significant financial impact, or legal liability. The idea is that AI can recommend, but humans should approve major decisions.
What else?
Transparency and explainability. People should understand how automated systems work and why they make specific decisions. This is both for trust and accountability.
How do you implement that?
Through design choices, using interpretable models where possible, providing decision rationales, maintaining audit trails, also through regulation requiring disclosure of how automated systems make decisions.
What about fairness?
Non-discrimination is crucial. Automated systems shouldn't discriminate based on protected characteristics. This requires careful attention to training data, testing for bias, and ongoing monitoring.
Who decides what's fair?
That's challenging. Fairness can mean different things in different contexts. It often requires domain expertise and stakeholder input, not just technical solutions.
What about safety?
Safety has to be paramount. Systems should fail safely, have multiple redundant safeguards, and err on the side of caution. There's a principle called ALARP, as low as reasonably practicable, for risk.
What does that mean?
Reduce risk to the lowest level that's reasonably achievable, even if you can't eliminate them entirely. Balance safety against cost and practicality, but always prioritizing human safety.
Who oversees all this? Who's responsible for governance?
That's a major open question. Currently, it's a patchwork of industry standards, company policies, and emerging regulations, but we likely need more comprehensive frameworks.
What might those look like?
Possibly certification processes for AI systems in critical applications, similar to how we certify aircraft or medical devices. Independent testing, validation, and ongoing monitoring.
Would that stifle innovation?
It might slow deployment, but that's not necessarily bad for critical applications. You don't want to move fast and break things when things might be human safety or livelihoods.
What about international coordination?
That's crucial but challenging. Different countries have different values, regulatory philosophies, and competitive interests. We need some baseline international standards, especially for safety and human rights.
Are there efforts toward that?
Yes. International organizations like ISO are developing standards. The EU is leading on AI regulation, but it's slow and complicated.
What role do companies have in this?
Companies deploying these technologies have responsibilities beyond legal compliance. They should consider impacts on workers, communities, and society. Best practices include stakeholder engagement, impact assessments, and transparency about automation plans.
Do companies actually do this? Or is it just PR?
Mixed. Some companies genuinely try to be responsible. Others prioritize short-term profits. This is where regulation, public pressure, and market incentives come in.
We've covered a ton of ground. Let's bring this home. What are your key takeaways?
First, polyfunctional intelligent manufacturing robots represent a genuine revolution in how we make things. They're not just faster or cheaper, they're fundamentally different, using AI to learn, adapt, reason, and collaborate.
And they're already here, not some far future technology.
Exactly. Thousands of facilities worldwide are using these systems now. This isn't speculative, it's happening.
What did we learn about how they work?
They combine multiple technologies, computer vision, machine learning, sensor fusion, edge computing, and cloud connectivity. They perceive their environment, make decisions, execute tasks, and continuously learn and improve.
And they collaborate with other robots and with humans.
Right. This isn't about replacing humans wholesale. The most successful implementations involve human-robot collaboration, where each does what they do best.
What industries are leading adoption?
Automotive, electronics, aerospace, pharmaceuticals, logistics, and increasingly food production, construction, and agriculture. Really any industry with repetitive tasks, quality control needs, or dangerous work conditions.
We talked about localized learning and knowledge sharing.
That's one of the most exciting aspects. Robots learn from their specific environments, then share insights through federated learning. It's like a collective intelligence that continuously improves.
What about the future? Autonomous industry agents.
We're moving toward robots that don't just follow instructions, but participate in planning, optimization, and decision-making. They'll negotiate with each other, form temporary teams, and adapt to changing priorities.
With all the benefits we discussed, productivity, quality, safety, flexibility.
Yes, but also significant challenges: cost, complexity, workforce displacement, cybersecurity, regulatory uncertainty. These are real obstacles that need addressing.
What's your overall assessment? Are you optimistic or concerned?
Cautiously optimistic. The technology itself is remarkable and offers genuine benefits. But technology alone doesn't determine outcomes. It's how we deploy it, how we manage the transition, and how we distribute benefits and costs.
What needs to happen for this to go well?
Investment in retraining and education. Thoughtful policy that cushions transition impacts. Companies taking responsibility beyond just profits. International cooperation on standards and ethics. An honest conversation about trade-offs.
No easy answers.
Never are. But I believe we can navigate this transition successfully if we're intentional about it. The alternative, trying to stop technological progress, isn't realistic.
So embrace it, but shape it?
Exactly. Use the technology, but guide it toward outcomes that benefit society broadly, not just narrow interests.
On that note, we should wrap up. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into polyfunctional intelligent manufacturing robots.
This is one of the most important technology trends shaping our future, and I'm glad we could explore it thoroughly.
Listeners, this affects all of us, whether we work in manufacturing or not. These robots are reshaping supply chains, affecting product quality and prices, and will influence labor markets across industries.
Stay informed, ask questions, and participate in conversations about how we want this technology deployed. It's too important to leave solely to engineers and executives.
Well said. Thanks for listening to Technically You. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and join the conversation on our social media channels.
Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.